And so Augustine has a hierarchical structure of reality. The world of change, the world of becoming, the world of time and space is set up against the world of God, of being, of the divine. And in this world, there are levels of being. The lowest level is material, simply material. And he follows the Greeks in identifying 4 fundamental elements: fire, air, earth, and water, which are hierarchically ordered. Earth is below water, water is below air, and air is below fire. But in addition to this material world, there is a world of soul. And that also is hierarchically arranged. Plants, they have a nutritive soul. They are alive. They are material, yet they live. Animals, they're alive, they're material, but they also have sense perception. They have additional capacities in their soul. And the highest of God's creation is humans. Humans, we're material, but we're also souls. And as souls, we are not only alive and sense perceptive, but we are rational. We are the most like God of all the created order, and hence we are the closest to God. Apart from being and becoming, there is nothing. There's nothingness. There is non-being set over against that. And that gives the basic structure of reality for Augustine. Let's see how some of this plays out in Book 7. Start there, page 147. He says about halfway through the middle paragraph at the end of book, chapter 10, he says, I realized that I was far away from you. It was as though I were in a land where all is different from your own, and I heard your voice calling from on high, saying, I am the food of full-grown men. Grow, and you shall feed on me. For you shall not change me into your own substance, as you do with the food of your body. Instead, you shall be changed into me. There we see initially how that fits within his schema of things. We are in a land far from God. Fallen souls, we are in an embodied world of becoming. We wander this material world like the prodigal son, far from God. But he says that this world is different from his own. But we hear God's voice on high, above us, he says, spatially, in spatial imagery, above us. We hear God's voice, and we are told that we will feed on God, and in so doing, we will become more like God. God will not be lowered to us, but we will be raised back towards God. And he concludes that paragraph, and far off I heard your voice saying, I am the God who is. I heard your voice, as we hear voices that speak to our hearts. And at once I had no cause to doubt. I might more easily have doubted that I was alive than that truth, capital T, had been. For we catch the sight of truth as he is known through his creation. So here Augustine, what he's doing is he is in good Platonic fashion saying God is being. God is he who is. The word is the same term, the same word that we get the notion of being from. God is he who is. God has being. God is truth. God's truth, God's being, God's goodness, these are all identical in God. And we are called to become more like God. And I considered all the things that are of a lower order. What is the lower order? That is the order of creation, the realm of becoming, lower order than yourself. And I saw that they have not absolute being in themselves, nor are they entirely without being. There's the divide. Absolute being, that is God, that is the divine. Totally without being, that is non-being, nothingness. In between, there is this unusual being that is both is and is not. and hence it becomes. We are something, but yet we aren't something. And we are in the process always of becoming something else. We have beauty, but we have it in a finite way. We participate in God's ultimate beauty, God's with a capital B. We have being, but we don't have full being. We have truth, but we're not truly true. And here's the real kicker. We are real, but we're not fully real. Reality has levels. Being has levels. Truth has levels. Some things are more real than others for Augustine. Some things are more true than others for Augustine. And that these qualities are ontological qualities. They define what something is. So he looks to the lower order. They are real insofar as they have their being from you, but unreal in the sense that they are not what you are. For it is only that which remains in being without change that truly is. There, that's God. God remains in being without change. God truly is. We are, but we aren't truly. Go to chapter 12. It was made clear to me that even those things which are subject to decay are good. If they were of the supreme order of goodness, that's God, they would not become corrupt. But neither could they become corrupt unless they were in some way good. For if they were supremely good, it would not be possible for them to be corrupted. On the other hand, if they were entirely without good, in other words, if they were nothing, non-being, there would be nothing in them that could become corrupt. For corruption is harmful. Unless it diminished what is good, it could do no harm. Again, there is God, incorruptible. And there is nothing. That also cannot be corrupted because there's nothing there to corrupt. But in between, there is the material world of creation that is and is not. It is good insofar that it is, but it also can be corrupted. It can become something that it ought not to be. So Augustine is building a picture of reality that is hierarchically structured, in which God has pulled out of non-existence, out of non-being, all that is finite, different than himself. This world is changeable, mutable, corruptible. It suffers, but it's beautiful and true and good at the same time by virtue of its being, its existing.